Welcome everybody to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen's April 5th, 2016 regular meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. The prayer is by Vice Mayor Green. She's not able to be here because of illness. I'll do the prayer for Miss Green, and I also have the pledge. Please stand for the prayer. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Almighty God, we stand before you with bowed heads and humble hearts. Thank you for giving your Son Jesus and the freedom that we all enjoy in this great country. Look over and keep us all safe and our fine men and women that is serving our great nation and their families. Our prayers go out to the people across this country that is grieving their loss, and to the people in the world. Offer praise and glory to the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit for the love of your Son, Jesus, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Take the flag. Let the pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. As mayor, it is my duty to enforce order, officer call, and Eubanks are the sergeant of arms and will assist in maintaining order for the safety and security of all. No one is to approach the table where the board members and the city officials is seated without obtaining permission from me. If you attempt to do so, you will be stopped by the sergeant of arms and will be subject to being escorted out of the building by the sergeant of arms. It is my sincere hope that everyone participates in the proceedings tonight will conduct themselves in a proper manner with respect shown for all, regardless of this agreement. We'll move on to regular order of business. Number one, approve the minutes for March 1, 2016 regular meeting. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion, need a second.
A second.
Got a second. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Seeing I say aye, hearing nobody say no, the minutes is approved. So we'll move on to department reports. First will be fire department. Ricky?
Mayor, Aldermen, Lord, I hope I can read that. Woo! Might have to turn around this way and read it this way this time. For the month of March 2016, we had a total of 284 calls. It's 4 structure fires, 29 fire alarms, 2 vehicle fires, 2 grass fires, 4 hazardous materials calls, 27 motor vehicle accidents, 195 medical calls, 5 canceled en route. Hold on, I can't read that fast. 16 miscellaneous calls. Our average response time for the month of March was 2.9 minutes, and our total water consumption for March 2016 was 6,000 gallons. Any questions?
Any questions for Ricky? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Police department.
Mayor and Alderman, you have the in your packets the reports, the calls for service for March. We had 3,199 total calls for service, and also in there for you are the last 3 months, which are actually the first 3 months in 2016. If we continue at the current pace of average over 95 per day, then we're looking at almost 35,000 calls for service this year. I also highlighted in red for you those hours and days so that you can see what the highest number of calls for service by days a week and time of day. Tomorrow, if everything goes okay, the TBI should be releasing to us, and then 1 week from tomorrow, they should be releasing to the public that the city of Laverne had 2,135 Group A offenses that were reported in 2015, and that is 6,229.2 per 100,000. If there are no questions on that, then I'll move along and talk to you about a couple of more things. One of them is we're working on an area out here where we will be putting up pinwheels, the little windmill pinwheels, in remembrance and recognition of those who are victims of child abuse. This is National Child Abuse Awareness Month, so we'll have those out here so that when everybody sees it, they'll remember that there are a lot of children in our community, in our county, our state, and nation who are abused unnecessarily. And I think that's so important to so many of us because we're told that whatever we do to the least of those, we do also unto him. And that's the good and the bad. So I think that's something all of us should remember. This is also Autism Awareness Month. And we have several young special friends who have been diagnosed with autism, and they're special friends. Many of them are special officers, junior officers with the police department. And we try to make sure not only us but Fire 2 that when they see us, they understand they can come to us, and they can come to us for help or for safety. And so many times we make sure, I say we, LFD does when they go do the Fire Prevention Week. They go in and they don gear and they let them see what they look like and sound like when they're talking with an SCBA on, and with the full turnouts because they look different. They look like a monster. And it's so important those children understand that's a real person under it. That's why we always put it on and take it off in front of them. But those are some important things. And then Friday of this week, Friday morning, we will have a group from Team LPD who will be doing the law enforcement torch run for the opening of Special Olympics for Rutherford County. And we'll be over in Murfreesboro. There'll be a group of our folks over there that have volunteered to go participate in that and take the torch into the stadium and make a lap around the track so they can kick off the Olympics. And then if nothing happens and everything goes good, as they say, the good Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, the Laverne High School Criminal Justice and Mock Trial Team students will go to TBI that morning for a visit and tour, and then they'll come to us and we'll have them then for a couple of hours over here doing a tour and talking to them about law enforcement. So we got a lot of things happening and going on, and just remember all those things that we have involving particularly our children, because they're so important to all of us. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving on to codes, Randolph.
Evening, Mayor, Aldermen. The report from March 2016, building permits, single-family dwellings, there were 15 at a value of $2 million. Commercial, there were 3 projects at just over $6 million. 13 miscellaneous permits, 5 signs, 1 grading permit, 13 other permits to include additions and remodels, 3 commercial plan review. Total number of permits were 50 at a total of $8.2 million. Plumbing permits were 19, single-family dwelling. There were 19 mechanical permits for single-family dwelling. Complaints for the month were tall grass, there were 2, 5 for junk cars, 42 other. Building inspections were 187 for the month. Inspections year to date, fire inspections have been 27. I'd like to point out the impact fees. The monthly revenue with impact fees is $82,390. If you look at year to date totals, it's $270,000. That number last year was, at this time, was $58,000. So that'll give you a pretty good summary of what's being done in the codes department as far as actually what's coming to the city. That indicator right there, like I said, in 2015 was 58,000. It's 270,000 this year. So these big box warehouses that are finishing out at Center Point are really pumping the numbers up. Total number of single-family permits issued year-to-date were 30. Issued the same time period last year, there were 8. Total number of all permits this year-to-date are 110. Any questions?
Thank you, Randolph.
Sir,
Moving on
thank
to
you.
the parks. Anybody gonna do the park AC?
David.
He's sick today. This is the Parks report for this past month. You've got the numbers there in front of you. Just a couple of things real quick. Total help desk tickets, 37. Man hours for those help desk tickets, 153. 19 hours of overtime. Those were due to the Celebrate Laverne ceremony and the egg hunt. And then the Park and Rec Advisory Committee meeting will be April the 18th at 6. Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, April 21st at 4 p.m. Upcoming events, opening day for the Ball League is this Saturday, 10 to 2. Farmers Market opens May the 31st, and that's 3 p.m. to 7. And an update on the memorial wall. Bricks went up today, and the columns went up, so we should be moving forward with that. Any questions?
I went by and looked at it, and it's looking good. The color of the brick is gonna blend in good.
Well, they finished it up. Finished up the columns today about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Got to come back tomorrow and put the caps on, and we should be able to move forward from there. Looks good. If you haven't had a chance to go by, take a look at it because it's really turned out better than we envisioned. Any other questions? Thank you.
Finance, Phyllis?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Aldermen. Tonight's financial reports represents our first 8 months of the fiscal year ending in February. For the general fund, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $4.2 million. For our sales tax, local sales tax collections, we've collected approximately $4.2 million. That's $1 million better than what we budgeted, and about $656,000 better than what we had collected at this time last year. For State Street Aid, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $16,000. In stormwater, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $267,000. In our water sewer fund, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $1.8 million. The second page represents our balances in our bank accounts. In the third page is a comparison to prior year. Revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $4 million, and that's due to the bond issue last year. Expenses are up about $1 million. In the water sewer fund, revenues are up about $113,000, and expenses are up about $415,000. Tap fees are also up about $240,000. Any questions?
Thank you, Phyllis. Moving on to the library, Donna.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, good evening. For the month of March, the attendance in the library was 8,020 with an average per day of 321. We issued 115 new library cards. We answered 1,340 reference questions, and we circulated 6,047 items. We had 2,469 computer users. We had a total of 50 programs with a total attendance of 789. If you will notice, our big highlight is our spring book sale. That's going to be Friday, April the 15th from 12 noon until 4 p.m. and Saturday, April the 16th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. All of the items in the sale are donated items. Books, audios, DVDs that have been donated to the library that we were unable to put into our collection, but were able to sell them and then to use that money to buy more items. Our hardback books are 2 for $1. Our paperback books 4 for $1. DVDs and audiobooks are $1 each. So we'd love to see you all come out to the sale. Just wanted very quickly to let you know that we do have library programs for everyone. If you will notice, I have it broke down to our children, our middle and high school students, and our adults. We start at birth with our children. So from birth all the way up to 99 plus, we have something for you to do. Anywhere from wearing your jammies on Thursday night, listening to stories, all the way to crocheting or acrylic painting, and just think about Bob Ross. So would love for you to come out and participate in some of the programs. Our next library board meeting will be Monday, May the 9th at 5 p.m. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Moving on, Thomas, water treatment.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, and Bruce. We have as our summary report for the month of February 2016. The water plant delivered 108 million gallons for the month. 3.8 million of that were recovered or sent out from the membrane unit that was from recovered water, saving the Metro fees of a little over $6,300. Rainfall was just about normal for the month. The lake is still at its winter pool, so it's kind of low. So the good water's still coming in. And our compliance testing, we did our system testing for stage 2. It's disinfection byproducts, where we determined 4 sites around the city. All the testing results for the whole month came in really, below normal, I guess you could say, is a good thing. Our flushing team visited 9 sites this month, a little over 200,000 gallons. During the month of February, our bacteriological lab approved 2 fixed line samples for distribution department. Maintenance, we started our new year February this year, so it's a lot of restocking the stuff we'd used up from the year. Other accomplishments, we filed our Tier 2 plan for Ricky to be aware of everything we have there. During the month, we had 8 quality calls. 4 were pressure, 1 taste and odor, and 3 of appearance. The expenses for the month were just $5,150 for the month, and that's just the beginning of our contract year of maintenance. No accidents to report, no lost time. It's always a good thing. Coming up, we got our new regulations coming in for actually first of the month of April for our bacteriological testing and site plans. So we got all that under control, and everyone should be receiving their water quality reports very soon in the mail. That's about all I have.
Any questions for Thomas? Thank you, Thomas. Public Works, Garland.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. Hold it. This is for the month of March 2016. We had a total of 41 requests for brush removal. We had a total of 462 pickups with 46 loads. It's about 97,658 pounds. 511 hours in workhouse program with 130 work hours and 31 hours overtime on call. For the fleet department, we had a total of 46 vehicles. 29 was worked on in-house, 17 was outsourced with 43 oil changes. We changed a total of 28 tires, done complete brake jobs on 8 vehicles, and 8 equipment repairs with 2.5 hours overtime. Just trying to keep all the cars going. Any questions?
Any questions for Garland? Appreciate it, Garland. Moving on to utility department.
Mayor, Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of March 2016, the Water Department had a total of 96 work orders, 15 new meter sets, answered 43 Tennessee 1 calls, had 2 mainline breaks and 5 service line breaks. Estimated gallons of water sold for the, or not sold for the month was roughly 25,000. We had 126 valve box inspections and repairs. We repaired 12 fire hydrants with 17 hours overtime. Sewer department, we had a total of 139 work orders. Service calls was 78. Pump stations were 46. Grinder pump inspections were 2. Manhole inspections for the month was 131. Grinder pump rebuilds were 9 with a total of 47 hours overtime. The special projects, driftwood drainage basins, excuse me. We're all but done with the investigation. We've like about a day and a half of Cameron. Unfortunately, the camera trucks in the shop went in last Thursday. We've got to replace, Kelly's replacing the intake manifold and Hopefully that will be done tomorrow, and we'll have everything over to Neil this week and have an update for next month's report.
Any questions from? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We're down to human resource, Cheryl.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. Here's the HR report for March. We had 5 external jobs posted with 224 applicants, 9 actual new hires, 2 NeoGov job interest cards, and as noted, we switched to a new HR tracking system, Civic Plus. We also wanted to indicate that we had 2 resignations, 0 terminations, 2 workers' compensation claims, 3 liability claims, 123 care here appointments, 4 no-shows, 318 care here enrollments, 1 HRA was conducted, 1 short-term disability claim, and total claim dollars, $331,600. Any questions?
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
We're down to the presentations. We got 3. We got the 9/11, and we got the Public Safety Communications, and we got the Outstanding Performance Award.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to call at this time Mr. Tim Coleman from Premier Protective Services.
Thank you, Chief. If I may do one thing before we get started, may I ask every uniformed firefighter to stand up, please? Ladies and gentlemen, I roughly count, I'm not the best mathematician, 30 uniformed firefighters in this room that do so much for this community. Multiply that by 10, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much. And since I'm a police officer, I want to say hi to the 2 or 3 I see in here. September 11th, 2001, I know exactly where I was. And I know exactly where 10 times that amount of people were that are no longer with us. I won't go into that because there's people here to speak about that. September 11th, 2015, I own Premier Protective Services along with Jim Labriola. I was at the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. If I can get Matt Church to stand up for a minute. Matt Church is my hazmat environmental director, and he's an integral part of Premier. We were all at this Tennessee State Fairgrounds, and I noticed the 9/11 exhibit there and some of the New York City firefighters, and I'll be honest, my jaw dropped because I really thought that in my mind, given that day and what it represented, that was a very holy day to me when it came to those firefighters and what they represented for that American flag right there. It wasn't New York that got attacked. It was the United States of America, the very fiber of what we stand for everybody under that banner that we so hold to the esteem. When I started talking to those guys and looking at them, I just was very upset. So I started talking to Matt, some of the others, and we had the good fortune of reaching out to the Laverne Fire Department. We talked to them, dialogued a little bit, and said, hey guys, we got some thin red line here, and we need some people to stand up. And you see they're still standing. They're standing today like they did back in September of 2015. This city stood with those New York firefighters and said, we feel you, we feel the loss, you're with us. We'll go forward. I went to New York. Tim Cole's in here. Tim, your firefighter, he heard the call. He came to New York, and he ran through that tunnel, and they'll tell you about that tunnel. I don't want to get too far up there, but the city of Laverne came to New York and took part in what this group is going to tell you about. That young man right there represented this entire city. Thank you very much again. After we talked, I went to great length talking to the firefighters from New York. They came over. Chief McCormick, the mayor, and several other members, Assistant Chief Chris Clark was there, and just these great guys. They opened up, and you would have thought that you had 2 more people, and I think they probably want to talk to you about pay, but they spent a lot of time here that day, and they really dialogued. So I talked to the 2 chiefs that I'm going to introduce now, and I said, what can we do? And they said, you know what? These 30 right here, in a small way, they help build back what we lost. We're not going to get those individuals back. We're going to get that same American spirit that you may have come in there and knocked us down. You didn't put us out. So I'm going to quit talking now, and I'm going to ask Battalion Chief John LaBarbera and Battalion Chief John Carroll from the New York City Fire Department that were there on September 11th, 2001, to step forward, and I'm going to step back and let them talk. Gentlemen, would you come up, please?
Thank you very much, Tim. Just bear with me. I'm Italian from New York. If I start moving my hands around. Tim said it, captured it very well when he said that it was an attack on New York. It was an attack on each and every one of us. In a few more months, it'll be our 15th anniversary of that attack. Over 400 first responders were killed that day. That was our first line of defense. On American soil, when American soil was attacked, our police officers, our firefighters, and our EMTs were there. If it wasn't for those police officers, firefighters, and EMTs, we would have lost probably 4 times as many people in those towers from their heroic sacrifices. 14 years ago, our foundation was started by the Silla family to honor the sacrifices of not just Stephen Silla, but all the first responders. Stephen was working the night tour. He got off that morning, got in his car to meet his brothers for work, and about 5 minutes away from the firehouse, he hears on the radio that the Trade Center was struck by a plane. He turned his car around with the intent of jumping on the fire truck to respond in with Squad 1 from Brooklyn. By the time Stephen got there, Squad 1 was already dispatched to Manhattan. Stephen gets his gear, throws it in his truck, goes to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, which connects Brooklyn to Manhattan. And obviously at that point, it was closed to all traffic. Stephen put the gear on, 70 pounds of gear, ran through that tunnel, and joined his brother firefighters, police officers, and EMTs, and assisted in the rescue effort, and was tragically killed. We were down, we were not out. The Silla family decided to do something. In 2002, there was probably around 900 runners to follow the footsteps of Stephen through that tunnel, past that towers. A couple of years ago, we have to cap the run at 30,000 runners. What are we doing with the money? There are so many wounded soldiers out there that need our help, specifically triple and quadruple amputees. 7 years ago, we built our first home for a service member who lost both arms and both legs. That's the price of our freedom. That's what these kids are doing for us. So we decided to do something. We're in the stages now of over 45 homes, which 30 of them are in construction. 30 of them, have been completed, and over 40, and the other 15 are in certain different stages of design. And when we came here, John and I, with the exhibit, we fell in love with Nashville and Laverne. And we can't thank you guys enough. Also on hand, we have somebody from New York, Lauren Fletcher and Brian Fletcher. Would you please come up? Tragically, Lauren's dad, Ray Mausenheimer, from Rescue 3, which is based in the Bronx, was killed on 9/11. What is Lauren going to do about it? Lauren is our race director here in Nashville to honor her father and the sacrifices of all those other first responders. And Lauren is also looking for some help. So if somebody wants to help us out this year, after this presentation, you come and talk to Lauren. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Chief John Carroll.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm here this evening representing the Stephen Silatono Towers Foundation and Building for America's Bravest. This wouldn't be possible without a dear friend of John and the foundations and myself, a person who introduced himself to us when we were at the Nashville State Fair and brought us over here and introduced us to all the great people here in the city of Laverne. His name is Tim Coleman, and would everybody please give him a round of applause, because Tim and his wife Cindy have been tremendous assets to the foundation. Without him, us coming down here to the city of Laverne wouldn't be possible. And I've gotten to travel around the country since 2006 when we first started the foundation building the homes. And I've met people from every state, almost in every part of this country. And I want to tell you, nobody surpasses the warmth and the true felt sympathy and heart that you people give to us when we come here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you. In appreciation for all of this, we would like to dedicate a 343 helmet. And we would like to have Chief Rick McCormick, Mayor Waldron, Aldermen Tom Broker, Calvin Jones, and Melissa Brown, please come up. Thank you to all the firefighters who have come today to witness this. Believe me, it means more to us than anything to see that fellow firefighters still care about what happened, and that together we're going to fight this war against terrorism and protect the great people in our cities. This helmet, come on in, guys. This helmet is given. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you come in. I'm sorry. Thank you. This helmet we try to save for special occasions. For people who have gone out of their way and gone above and of what the normal person does in life, we try to give and recognize that. And this city, to us, has been fantastic in what they've been doing for the Stephen Siller Foundation and Building for America's Bravest. So in honor of everybody in the city of Laverne, we'd like to dedicate this helmet to you, and it is with great appreciation that we give it to you. Thank you for everything we did. In the future, we hope to see a lot of everybody. We got to continue in our efforts to raise funds for the houses that we're building for the vets who sacrificed so much for us. So between different charity events that we run, races and our 9/11 exhibit that travels the country, I'm sure we're going to be back in this great city of Laverne, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you so much for having us here. God bless America, and God bless the city of Laverne. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure you got a good place for it. Got two more presentations. If I can squeeze by here. We got a proclamation for Public Safety Communicator Week, April 10th through the 16th, 2016. That's for the dispatch chief. Good.
We'll put Ricky on one side, now go to the other.
That is.
We got you surrounded.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna take it on my microphone.
Read it? Okay. I'm gonna let you read it.
You want me to read it? You got your glasses? City of Laverne, Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who call the Laverne Police Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Laverne have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each emergency communications specialist dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore, he, Dennis Waldron,
Therefore, I, Dennis Waldron, by virtue of authorization vested in me as Mayor of Laverne, City of Laverne, Tennessee, I hereby proclaim April 10th through 16th, 2016 as National Public Communicators Week in the City of Laverne and honor the men and women who legally and professionally kept the city citizens safe. I have set my hand on this 5th day of April 2016.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it.
Now, we have annually for what I call emergency communications specialists here, because they're not just dispatchers. They're that thin gold line between the thin blue and thin red lines. They are that voice, that hero behind the microphone that no one ever sees. And for the last few years, we've recognized each of our dispatchers, emergency communications specialists, in a special way during this week. And we always have with our Rutherford County Emergency Communications District Board of Directors, we have a gathering in Murfreesboro. And we go through and I send out a little thing asking folks to select someone to be the telecommunicator of the year for Laverne. This year I didn't do that. This year I chose to do something differently. And I took it upon myself to go ahead and list each of our dispatchers who have been here for almost a year struggling, working extra shifts, working extra hours on shifts they did work to cover shifts so that we had sufficient staff, because it's extremely hard to find firefighters and police officers, but you cannot believe how hard it is to find a good professional emergency communications specialist. They're not easy to find. They have to have very thick skin. They have to have a lot of compassion. They have to sit in that room and like a mushroom, you know, darker, and listen to a lot of things. And one thing I did was say all of our dispatchers are our dispatcher of the year this year for Laverne. So when you see one of them, tell them thank you. They can't be here tonight. We had one just walk out on his friends about 3 weeks ago. Been here almost 3 years, and he just threw his hands up and said he was done. He wasn't coming back because of some outside pressures at home as a result of probably the work that they've been doing. But they do an excellent job for us. And that's going to lead us into the next thing, if you'll stay with me a minute. Now, you've got a thing, but I want to do my part of this one first, if that's okay. We had a situation that occurred back several weeks ago where there were quite a few tense moments, tense minutes. We had 2 dispatchers on. One was getting EMS en route. One was trying to make sure and get them staged. We were trying to make sure that fire was close by in case we had to do some things. And I had just pulled into my driveway and had checked 10-7 for that shift, for that day, out of service. Gone in, put my blue jeans on, and heard the call. And there was the call came in, and there was a spouse who was extremely upset because her husband, who was a police officer, not here, another city, but lives here, had been calling his family members and trying to talk to them. He had been able to talk to everybody but his mama in another state. And that's probably a good thing because that probably helped with a good ending. But several people were en route. And Lieutenant Conrad Call is the second shift, patrol second shift commander. And Conrad was there with a couple of our officers, and just before he arrived on the scene, one of our dispatchers said, "Shots fired, shots fired." I heard shots fired. The man had fired a round through the wall of an office area where he was sitting and went through and into the living room area and to the steps where you go to the second floor of this house. And his wife wasn't very far from it when it blew through the wall. When they got there, the door was locked on this small office area where he was, and Conrad attempted to talk to him and had made sure everybody was stationed outside to secure the whole house, to make sure he didn't get out, and was trying to talk to him and was able to enter the room. I won't get into the details, but he got in. Conrad's an old offensive lineman at Middle Tennessee State, you know. So he has a way of getting places that others like me probably couldn't very easily. Conrad made access, began talking to the man, and was talking to him about pictures, talking to him about things in the room, and then diverted his attention by asking him, "Well, what about that gun over there?" See, the man's sitting there with a shotgun in his mouth and then rubbing it on the side of his head, under his chin, and toward his eyes. And he was able to divert his attention long enough, and that Boots Donnelly training kicked in, and he was able to get to him, get the shotgun away from him, take him down, wound up having to tase him even after that. But Conrad, this is the first one of these I've done, y'all. And I'm an old guy. I appreciate folks who step up and step out. You responded to a call of a man who locked himself in a room, who was calling his family to tell them goodbye. And he indicated he was going to take his own life. Dispatch was providing information constantly from the man's wife, and then provided information that heard gunfire over the phone. You continued and arrived shortly after this information was given. After quickly getting the wife to safety, you proceeded to the locked door, gained entry, and engaged the man in conversation. He had a shotgun placed to his head and told you he was not going to live. You then diverted his attention, quickly moved toward him, and successfully took the shotgun from him before he could harm himself or others. Valor is defined as having the strength of mind or spirit to encounter danger with firmness and personal bravery. Thank you for answering the call and saying, "Here am I, send me." When the need arose to serve our great city, department, and the citizens of Laverne, I'm honored and with great pride present you with this Award of Valor on this, the 5th day of April, in the year of our Lord, 2016.
I've got a special award here. I don't give these out but 4 times a year. City of Laverne Outstanding Performance Award, hereby granted to Lieutenant Conrad Cowell for the dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne. Hereby recognizes you with the award and thank you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne, given this day, the 5th day of April, 2016. Dennis Waldron, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Now, you know why it's grinning? Because Candy and the boys showed up, and he didn't know they were coming, but he didn't know what was happening.
Thank you. We're starting into the meeting, but I want everybody to give all the dispatchers, the firemen and policemen another good hand. Thank y'all. We're going to move on to consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Got a second? We'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. The consent agenda passes 5 to 0, no against. Moving on to new business. Number 5 is motion to appoint or remove board members. A, Laverne Housing Authority, 1 term vacant. We got 1 applicant, and that's Participant Williams McLean. She's the only applicant. need a motion to appoint.
Motion to appoint Patricia Williams McLean.
Got a motion to appoint, need a second.
I second.
A second. Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Patricia Williams McLean, she is on the Laverne Housing Authority. B, Planning Commission, one term's vacant. We've got 2 applicants, a Terry Campbell and a Sue Emo. And I'm gonna put Susan Emo on the board. She'll be the new Planning Commission board member. C, Board of Zoning Appeals, one term's vacant. We got 3 applicants, that's Christopher Mitchell, Debbie Hugan, and Patricia Williams McLean. Need a motion to appoint one of these on the Board of Zoning Appeals?
Motion to appoint Deborah Hewen.
Got a motion to appoint Debbie Hugan, need a second?
Second.
Got a second, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Ms. Hugan, you are on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Moving down to first reading, number 6, ordinance 2016-02, an ordinance to amend, excuse me, the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map, tax map 29B, Group A, parcel 1.03, consisting of approximately 0.45 acres, located at 608 Walden Road, from a R2 minimum density residential zoning district to a C2 highway service commercial zoning district. Received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on March 29, 2016. This is the car wash up there on Walden Road, right before you get the 3-way stop, right across the fire department. Somehow or another, it's sitting on residential. This is sort of a cleanup deal. It got a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, need a second.
I second.
Got a second. Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. It passes 5-0. Moving down to number 6. I'm moving on to number 7. And this is a resolution 2016-05, a resolution to approve a land acquisition policy for the Lower Hurricane Creek Intercepted Sewer Line Project. This is a easement, a resolution for an easement. Need a motion to approve this resolution or deny it.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, need a second.
Second.
Got a second. Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. The resolution 2016-05, it passes 5-0. Down to number 8, a resolution 2016-06, a resolution of the City of Laverne, Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare certain property owned by the city to be surplus to the city needs and direct disposal of the same. This is library items, books and whatnots. Need a motion to approve the resolution or deny it.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve the resolution, need a second.
I
Second.
second.
Alderman Broker,
Aye.
Alderman Brown,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Resolution 2016-06 passes 5-0. We're down to mayor and alderman comments. Alderman Jones.
I have none. I just want to wish everyone a happy Easter that I haven't had a chance to since our last meeting. and wish everyone to have a nice weekend.
And big, and you had the Brett Favre coming out of retirement deal today?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not confirmed.
Okay. Alderman Brown.
I would just like to say what a huge honor it was to have our New York firefighters come down and all the kind things that they said about Laverne and the wonderful job that the fire department is doing. It just really makes me feel good to hear how much that they respect our fire department and our city as a whole and how welcome they feel here. I'm just so honored to have met them, and it just really speaks well for our city. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that made them feel welcome, and I hope they just keep coming back.
Alderman Broker.
Yes, sir. I just kind of echo the comments that Alderman Brown said. It was a tremendous honor to have them in the city, and I want to thank everyone that helped bring them here, and look forward to having them back in old timers and maybe other times as well. So thank you all.
Vice Mayor Green.
I think it's quite an honor when they just talked about us being so great, and it's because we're such a friendly city, and that's what it takes to make people love us and want to be around us and come back. So I am thankful that we are those type of people, all of us.
Mayor, can I say one other thing? I apologize, Mayor. I do want to say one other thing about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the ones that's left in here tonight, let's blow up Facebook tonight and let people know that this happened. We didn't have the television stations here tonight because we don't have controversy. But let's blow up Facebook and let everyone know that someone from New York, got 2 battalion commanders came down here from New York, from the 9/11 site, to say that, you know, they love Laverne. So let's blow it up tonight and put that on there and see how it goes over. Thank you. I might even post something.
You know, 2 dates is going to reflect in history forever. One is December 7th, 1941, and 9/11 in New York. For centuries and centuries, them 2 dates is going to be reflected in history. And I wasn't alive at the time of the 41, but I witnessed live on television the incidents in New York in 9/11, and we're appreciated to have the emergency service people that we have across this country, because they're well needed and well deserved, and I appreciate all of them. And this month is Autism Awareness Month, and it's also National Health Awareness Month. And Laverne is having a rescue squad. It's having a ham breakfast Saturday, April the 9th, from 6 to 10. And this Saturday is the stream cleanup day. It's Saturday, April the 9th, from 9 to noon. Everybody come out and participate. I think some snacks and some refreshments will be provided. And April, she wasn't able to be here tonight. Had a bad case of strep throat. And hope she gets over quick. And I went by there and seen the Veterans Wall. They put the bricks up. They hadn't. When I went by there this evening, they hadn't quite put the caps on the top, but it's going to look good. The bricks is not on there with the engraving on it, but the structural bricks, I think they've done it, and it looks good. And I think it's something that we all going to be proud of, especially when they start putting the bricks with people's names on it. And anybody, we still got room for anybody that wants to, got a member of the family that served in the military, they need to get a brick for them. It's $25, and that's a bargain. And my uncle, he was there the day that we had the ceremonies there, him and his wife, and he passed away 2 weeks ago. And he purchased a brick, so he will be on the wall forever. And he served this country well in the Air Force. And With that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Would you believe